What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is having a good start to their day. It's Friday and hopefully the day will go by fast so we can get this weekend started. So for today's first horror news update, new Toxic Avenger image gives us our best look yet at Peter Dinklage's unlikely superhero. Now, I know there's a split here among the fan base. Some people don't care about this, don't want this, don't think it's necessary. Some people are all for it. They are excited to see a new take on the Toxic Avenger, since it's been probably over 40 years, I think, give or take, since we've gotten the original film. I think the original film came out in 1983 or 1984. I think it was 1984 it came out, because I know that there were obviously subsequent sequels, but I think the original came out in 1984. And I know there's also the camp, Peter Dinklage has been, there's been some controversy around him, obviously, and then that is just adding to the lack of support, lack of people wanting to see this because of that off-screen controversies, which we're not going to get into. We're strictly just going to be focusing on these new images that are being released of what he looks like as Toxic Avenger. From what this here, as you see on the screen, is one of the original images that we got, which really doesn't show much. Primarily just shows his height, the mop, and just a little bit mysterious here. Now, we'll say from this image, and just based on, it is a bit deceiving, right? It is a low angle picture. You can't really tell if they've added some height to him or not. I would imagine they might have, and I would think they might have, just based on how tall the character was in the original film. But looking at him in this image next to the wall, right, it doesn't look like they may have. It looks like he might just be his normal size, but we'll have to wait and see, because even the new images don't really give you an idea, again, if they've added any height to him, as far as because we know he's fairly short. We saw how short he was in the Game of Thrones, that HBO series. But we're going to read a little bit of the article first, and before we look at the images, these new images, I want us to take a look back at what the original Toxic Avenger looked like first. For some of you who either haven't seen what that looked like, or it's been a while since you've seen them, we're going to take a look at those first before we look at these new ones, just to do a quick comparison. So, as we have here, Peter Dinklage is ready to get toxic, quite literally. Entertainment Weekly has dropped the first complete look at the acclaimed actor as Winston Goose, better known as the Toxic Avenger, in Cineverse's upcoming remake of the Toxic Avenger. While some looks at Dinklage's character have been revealed before, this is the first time that a full image of the green-skinned, boiled-alive hero has been seen. Alright, so we have this little bit right here, and then we have the images right below this, but again, we're going to pull up the original ones first. The first image depicts Winston in his full form as the Toxic Avenger, or Toxie, following an industrial accident that has left him a deformed and disfigured mutant. However, as in the original franchise, Toxie uses his newfound powers of strength to fight crime as a vigilante, becoming an unlikely hero in the process. The second image depicts Toxie cleaning up crime with a mop, which, like Toxie himself, has become covered in industrial waste. The two images make it clear that this character will be very much based on the design from the original, 1984. So I was close, so I think I got it right. It was 1984 film. The Toxic Avenger also stars Taylor Page, Jacob Tremblay, Kevin Bacon, Elijah Wood, Jane Levy, and more. It was directed by Macon Blair from a screenplay he wrote himself. Lloyd Kaufman and Michael Hurst, the co-directors of the original film, are producing the project for its original production banner, Tromo Entertainment, alongside Alex Garcia for Legendary Pictures and Mary Parent. So we're going to now, I think the pictures are right, they're right here below. So we're going to actually pull up the stuff. I think I have 4 or 5 images from the original one. Again, just gives a quick comparison. So if you see here, this is one image here, and these are all up on IMDb. So if you want to go take a look at all the images they have there of the original one, you can do so. That's where I pulled these from. So you see, this is what the one image of the original one looked like. Very 80s looking. not just him, but obviously how she looks, the background, everything about this, just the way it looks filmed is very 80s look. We also have a more close-up picture, again, very 80s, and you can see from the makeup perspective, like on his hand here, you can see he's wearing some sort of glove, and that's what they put the makeup on, or that's what they put the makeup, covered this glove with the makeup, I guess that's the best way to say it, and then he just puts the glove on and it looks like it's part of him. You can see that the mask looks very, I don't want to say, I mean, obviously we know it's fake, but you can tell it's very much whatever material they were using back then. I don't know if it was necessarily latex or some type of rubber material, but it just doesn't, I mean, I don't know, it just has that very 80s horror look to it, where it doesn't look like too much was put into it to make it kind of part of the individual playing the character. We have this next one here, more full body picture of him with his mop. I mean, and we can see here, just in this picture, you have this barrel right here next to him. You can see from this image, he's obviously very tall, or at least, normal size, I guess you could say. But he looks fairly tall in this picture compared to like what we see Peter Dinklage, obviously much shorter in stature. We have this one here, a little bit more of the previous one we saw, a little bit of an outer take picture. And then we have the last one here, much more close up. Again, I'm sure we're going to see a very different look. So I'm going to have at least this one at the ready if we want to jump back and forth to compare. So now let's go back to the article. And here is our first look. Let's see if we can make this a little bit bigger. It's not too much bigger, but it's a little bit bigger. So yeah, so this is the first image, one of two images of Peter Dinklage as Toxie. So if we take a look at this one, and let's try to, let's see here. So I think this might be, this one might be the, I think probably this one might be the best look. So if we look at this one here, and then, I mean, you can see just skin tone, very different skin tone. They're going with more of that, I don't want to say a neon green, but much brighter green. You can see his eye right here is obviously much bigger and red. It's still a bit droopy, but if we look back on, here, let's move this one over here. I mean, this one is droopy, but it still looks like somewhat like a normal eye. This one is very, very larger, much more just like that solid dark red. His eye over here looks fairly normal. Let's go back. Yeah, I mean, this skin tone here is very, very brown, very, I don't want to say like a burnt color, but yeah, even like his face here looks more like burnt a little bit, especially around his lips. And then over on this one, nothing like that, just that toxic green look. And then yeah, he's got the scars around here, but his lips don't look deformed. And if you look at his muscles, I mean, as far as how big he is around his neck, his shoulders, and his forearms right here. And then we have that one of him. You see here, it's obvious they didn't do really much here back in 1984. It was probably just, I mean, this looks like just the actor's body with just, a bit of makeup on him to give him that look. But for Peter Dinklage, they've really gone all out to make him look a bit more muscular than the original. The clothes are vastly different. Let's go to the next one and see if they've, so this one the smoke or the fog or whatever is kind of from the mop is kind of covering this up a bit more, but we do see again the eye again. It looks like you do see, if you look a little bit closely, and I'll put the link of this article in the description of this video, because if you look a little closely, you can see his eye right here where my cursor is. So it doesn't look like that full piece of red covers the entire eye, where if we look back here, he does still have his eye here, his normal one here. So it looks like they do give him that. So I'm not really sure if that's just the angle of this shot and it's not fully edited and we're just seeing that, and it's going to look more like this here where we don't see his eye at all. Let's go back to the other one. I mean, obviously he's got the mop. We see the green within inside the mop here, as we saw in the original image, that he's in that shadow in the doorway. So we see that. I mean, he's got some flesh coming out of his skin right here, and it looks like some up here on his head here and over here, like his brain's coming out a little bit. But beyond that, I mean, those are the only two images we have. Now, he doesn't appear to have on, let's go back to like this tutu, right here, the original one had it on. It doesn't look like he has that on. And we look here, we can't really see if we can, yeah, it doesn't go down any lower for us to see And then on this one, the mop right here is in the way and the camera angle doesn't go down far enough to see if he's wearing that. I can't imagine he is. It looks like, just based on what he's wearing as far as his vest and his like coveralls as what he was wearing. And then he's got like this biker spike leather wristband on, and over here it looks like he has like a red bandana on as well on this wrist. So very a big contrast look and feel from the original. So again, looking at this one and then going back to, let's see, like this one here, yeah, big difference in look. I mean, it's 40 years difference. Obviously a lot's changed when it comes to makeup and design, so I mean, I would expect something to look vastly different, but they really went a completely different direction with this new look. All right, so let's go back to the article here. It has been quite a road to the screen for Toxic Avenger. The film has been in the works for years, and Dinklage originally boarded in 2020. It was slated to be released in 2023, and this did happen, sort of. The project debuted at the horror-based Fantastic Fest in September 2023 to positive praise, and fans of the longtime cult classic were eagerly waiting for news on a theatrical release. This didn't come, however, as reports emerged that the film was having trouble finding a distributor due to its dark and graphic content. After waiting for several more years, Horror House Cineverse finally secured the rights to release the film in January 2025 and has planned a wide theatrical distribution. So after a series of delays, it appears Winston Goose will finally ooze onto the screen after all. The Toxic Avenger will be released in theaters on August 29, 2025 in the US. The original film is available on streaming services now. And it doesn't say which, and I don't know what streaming services it's available on, so you'll have to go check that out for yourself. So I mean, yeah, it's been a long road for this film. I covered this film when we got that small clip of him in the restaurant, and it did, for what we got, it was pretty graphic. And I mean, we have a very similar restaurant scene in the original film, and it's been a while since I've seen the original film, so I can't quite remember from a comparison perspective from how graphic one versus the other. But I mean, it's been very well reported this is going to be a graphic film. Maybe at the time it was trying to get released, it was probably a little more hesitation from studios to distribute. But after, I think, the success of like things like Terrifier 3, I don't think many studios are as afraid to put something out there that's graphic, because they see how much money that can be made, how much of a cult following one this has, and the number of fans that like to see the gore horror, so to speak. So I imagine this one will probably do mid-range. I don't think this is going to be a box office smash like Terrifier 3. I think this will probably be mid-range, maybe between a little bit like mid-high. So I think it will make some decent money. I can probably see, even if it not breaks even, but if it does maybe double or triple the budget, it'll probably end up getting a sequel. I wouldn't be surprised. So when I covered the teaser that we got previously last year, I think it was, I'm not a big Toxic Avenger fan. I wasn't necessarily a fan of the originals back when they were coming out when I was a kid. So I mean, will I watch this? Yeah, I'm interested to see, again, really from a comparison, how different is this one versus the original. But this isn't one I'm just on the edge of my seat, excited to see, because I've never really been a Toxic Avenger or Toxie fan. So, but nonetheless, we want to bring out the latest to you on this film. Again, it comes out August 29th, 2025. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let us know what you think about the new look for Toxie for the upcoming film Toxic Avenger, especially when we do the comparison to the original look from 1984. Also, if you haven't done so, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It is greatly appreciated with all the support. Otherwise, we will see you at the next one. Peace.